What is the story behind Indian rock? That's a question I asked and I will answer today. We're looking at the Moshannon State Forest area of Pennsylvania. This is a follow-up to the video I did a few weeks ago. A frequent viewer of my videos had contacted me and he told me about a frequent place that he haunted as a youth. And he informed me of two sites of significance to him, and I visited both of these sites with his accurate directions. First, let us thank Old Guy 49, I believe it's something like that, for the directions and the follow-up information. He voluntarily informed me that he's elderly, he has health issues, and he is not mobile enough to visit any of these sites, and he no longer lives in Pennsylvania. So my visit meant a great deal to him, and it was actually more than I would have known until after. I visited this Native American rock in the video, and I saw nothing significant or prominent when examining. I had thoughts of maybe former logger carving on it, or a CCC member passing by, maybe, put his initials or a date. But other than a few signs on the back that there were areas quarried off of it, I was left to wonder, why did it have this name? And then I sent an email about what significance or what is the story with this rock. The answer was received in an email and in the mail. And the story is that the rock was a location marker for a cranberry bog nearby, that his father and grandfather both would visit to gather berries, and during their years of wading those bogs for cranberries, they found two Native American celts. A celt is an axe head or an adze, and it was made from stone, and in this case it was typical Pennsylvania glacial origin, basically material common to Pennsylvania. And this is verified by two archaeologist friends who had a look, and one examined and discussed their possible use at that location. And these would date to a transitional archaic, but basically in short, they're about 2500 BC, possibly. So both show signs of wear. One shows fantastic polishing and shiny, and the wear and tear, it just has a great deal of character. Their use at this location, what would have it been? This is the Allegheny Plateau, and as it is often, that's often what it is referred to as. And just down the road is an Indian mill, and you can actually visit that on Meadix Run Road, and it's marked with a sign. The cranberry bog would have been a valuable resource to the indigenous, and the celts could have been used a few ways. One is to bark trees. This is the act of scraping away the outer bark of a tree trunk, exposing it and thus allowing the tree to die, basically. Why would you do this? Well, if you have productive nut trees on tops of those hills where there's nutrition provided for your people, and you want to preserve those beech nuts, American chestnuts, or whatever they may be, and if you have a non-productive tree that offers no nutritional benefit or other use, growing and competing, they would often kill off these intrusive trees and keep their valuable food sources safe and viable. So the other possibility is, if that bog were active with cranberries at the time, they would have made a dugout, not a huge, large canoe, but rather a simple bowl-like dugout that they could float along as they gathered cranberries. And then once done, they would have sunk it, put a weight on it and left it on the bottom of the bog, and then reused it in the next season. Now, these thoughts and ideas for the use came from looking at the location, history of location, artifacts found, time period of those artifacts, traditions of the indigenous at that time, the skills they had for purposing the materials for their benefit and efficiency, and all of these factors, which is a great way of seeing the many facets of archaeology coming together to provide reasonable ideas for their use. These thoughts all came from a series of emails amongst several archaeologists and myself, their field assistant at times, and also during an artifact show while sitting around and examining and looking over those details. It was a brainstorming combo amongst some great minds. Some of those are long-standing archaeologists, such as my friend Rabbit, Ken, and even a newer input from the Frenchville chapter who had a chance to see and hold these items, John Sykes. Once again, Timber Adventures thanks you for watching, and please subscribe and like. And a big thank you to Old Guy 49 for not only sending me the celts, but also the story and the facts behind it. Thank you once again, and I look forward to hearing from other viewers. Cheers.